Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams with the Midday News. The headlines. Government says proactive steps taken to curb price rise. Sufficient stock of food grains available to meet requirements of welfare schemes. India receives all 36 Rafale aircraft from France as the last one landed today. Srinagar and Jammu airports to be expanded as the UT sets a record in tourist arrivals, informs Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. Death toll in Bihar Hooch tragedy rises to 37. Peru declares emergency days after ouster of its president. And on day 2 of Chattogram test, India all out for 404 runs in their first innings against Bangladesh. The government has said it has sufficient food grain stocks under the central pool to meet the requirement of National Food Security Act, NFSA and other welfare schemes, as well as for additional allocation of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana PMGKAY. Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution in a statement said, as on the 12th of this month, around 182 lakh metric ton wheat was available in the central pool. It said about 159 lakh metric ton wheat will be available as on the 1st of January next year, which is well above the buffer norm requirement of 138 lakh metric tons. The ministry said the government is well aware of the price scenario of wheat and is monitoring it regularly on a weekly basis along with other commodities and taking corrective measures as and when required. It said the government has taken proactive steps to ward off any further price rise and export regulations were imposed with effect from the 13th of May this year. Further, the allocations under NFSA as well as PMGKAY have also been revised in favour of rice for having sufficient wheat stock in the central pool to cater to the requirements of welfare schemes. India has received all 36 Rafale aircraft from France, with the last aircraft landing in the country today. According to the Indian Air Force, the aircraft arrived after a quick en route mid-air refuelling from a UAE Air Force tanker aircraft. India and France had signed the intergovernment agreement in 2016, under which Paris agreed to provide 36 Rafale fighter jets at a cost of around 60,000 crore rupees to India. A report.
Out of 36 Rafale jets, 30 will be fighter jets and 6 will be trainers. The trainer jets will be twin-seater and they will have almost all the features of the fighter jets. The multi-role Rafale jets are known for air superiority and precision strikes. The Rafale jets are India's first major acquisition of fighter planes in 23 years after the Sukhoi jets were imported from Russia. Aarti Rana News Desk.
The government today reiterated that petrol prices are the lowest in the country compared to other countries in view of the current global situation and international petrol prices. Replying to supplementaries during question hour in the Lok Sabha, Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said between 2021 and 2022 there was only 2% increase in petrol prices in the country, while internationally crude oil prices went very high. Minister for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said the education sector in the country has transformed since the Narendra Modi government took over in 2014. Talking to reporters outside Parliament, Dr. Mandavia said the number of medical colleges has doubled in the last 8 years.
देश के बच्चों को विदेश में पढ़ने जाने की नौबत न आए इसलिए और देश में डॉक्टर की जरूरत पूरी हो इसलिए एक अभियान चलाया गया है। 2014 में केवल 53,000 सीट एमबीबीएस की थी, वो आज 96,000 हो चुकी है, यानी कि 87% की बढ़ोतरी हुई केवल 8 साल में। वैसा ही पीजी सीट में भी जब 2014 में मोदी जी देश के प्रधानमंत्री बने तो देश में 31,000 पीजी सीट थी, आज वो बढ़ के 63,000 पीजी की सीट हो गई, यानी कि 105% की बढ़ोतरी हुई है। मेडिकल कॉलेज भी आज डबल हो चुकी है।
Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Anurag Singh Thakur has said the government is laying emphasis on ease of doing business and ease of compliance in the broadcasting sector. In reply to supplementaries during question hour in the Rajya Sabha, Mr. Thakur said earlier there were separate guidelines for uplinking and downlinking, but now there is a single guideline for them.
भारत सरकार ने बनाई है अपलिंकिंग और डाउनलिंकिंग की। पहले दो अलग अलग थी, अब इसको एक ही गाइडलाइन बनाया गया है। ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस और ईज ऑफ कंप्लायंस, इस पे भारत सरकार ने पूरा जोर रखा है। अगर आप कुल मिलाकर देखेंगे, पहले परमिशन लेनी पड़ती थी किसी भी लाइव टेलीकास्ट को करने के लिए, अब प्री रजिस्ट्रेशन ही केवल करवानी पड़ती है, आपको जानकारी ही देनी है। और स्पेसिफिक टाइमलाइंस के अंतर्गत सर हमने परमिशन अब देनी शुरू कर दी है, बहुत कम समय में उसको करते हैं। ऑनलाइन पोर्टल शुरू कर दिया है कि आपको दफ्तर के चक्कर नहीं काटने पड़ेंगे, वहां पे सब कुछ सुविधाएं मिलेंगी।
Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has said the NDA government is committed to the growth of tourism in Jammu and Kashmir. Replying to supplementaries during question hour in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Scindia expressed happiness that a record number of tourists visited Kashmir this year, including international tourists. He said the terminal of Srinagar Airport will be expanded in order to meet the demands arising out of high tourist footfall. He added that the government also has an expansion plan for Jammu Airport.
एक नया ऐतिहासिक रिकॉर्ड पर्यटकों का श्रीनगर में अब आयोजित हो चुका है। मैं इनको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि केंद्र सरकार और नागर विमानन मंत्रालय श्रीनगर की एयरपोर्ट की विकास और प्रगति भी हम लोग निर्मित करने वाले हैं। 1000 करोड़ रुपए का जो वर्तमान का टर्मिनल बिल्डिंग है उसका एक्सपेंशन हम लोग कर रहे हैं। एक्सपेंशन प्लान करीब 800 करोड़ का है। दोनों शहरों में एक आधुनिक, विकसित और बड़े हवाई अड्डे का निर्माण हम लोग करने जा रहे हैं।
The Rajya Sabha today witnessed 3 brief adjournments over the Hooch tragedy incident in Bihar, alleged misuse of central agencies and other issues. When the House met for the day in the morning, Deputy Chairman Harivansh disallowed adjournment notices moved by Aam Aadmi Party, Congress and Shiv Sena members over alleged misuse of central agencies and other issues. He said the notices have not quoted the relevant rule under which these discussions can be taken up. TMC MP Derek O'Brien, Congress MP Pramod Tiwari and Priyanka Chaturvedi of Shiv Sena objected to it. Meanwhile, ruling BJP members tried to raise the issue of Hooch tragedy in Bihar. Opposition members were also on their feet, raising their demands. As noisy scenes continued, the House was adjourned for 15 minutes. Later, when the House reassembled, similar scene was witnessed, which forced adjournment of the House again for 15 minutes till 11:50 a.m. After it reassembled at 11:50 a.m., NDA members raised slogans over the Hooch tragedy incident in Bihar, which was countered by slogans from the members from Congress, RJD and others. BJP MP Biplab Deb said the matter should be discussed in the House. As pandemonium continued, the chair adjourned the House till 12 noon. The Congress party demanded that white paper should be released by the government on the activities of China. Leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, raised the issue in 0 hour. Referring to a recent cyber attack, he said despite China's aggressive activities and infiltration in the Indian territory, we continue to do business with them. He said the government has even increased imports from China, which is benefiting only China. He said the government must explain that if China is attacking us, what is the need to take their help in business? This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Northeast Diary, bringing you enchanting stories from the northeastern part of India. This program is broadcast every Thursday and Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on FM Gold and on our app News on AIR. We look forward to you walking this journey with us twice a week, every week.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Death toll in Hooch tragedy in Saran district of Bihar has risen to 37 as 3 more people have died. Maximum 23 deaths have been reported in Masrakh block, while remaining 14 casualties have been from Isuapur, Amnor and Marhora areas of the district. Our correspondent reports that the casualties are likely to rise as 19 people are undergoing treatment at various hospitals, with 6 of them in serious condition. Some people have also lost their eyesight. Talking to AIR News, the Saran District Magistrate Rajesh Meena said raids are being conducted to nab the culprits engaged in spurious liquor trade. Mr. Meena said 30 people have been taken into police custody for interrogation. The SHO and Chowkidar of Masrakh police station have been suspended with immediate effect for dereliction of their duties. Meanwhile, senior BJP leader and MP Sushil Kumar Modi alleged over 1,000 people have lost their lives in the states due to spurious liquor after prohibition. Meanwhile, Bihar Assembly witnessed noisy scenes over the issue as soon as the House assembled today. Opposition BJP raised slogans against the government and demanded resignation of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Opposition leader Vijay Kumar Sinha alleged that the voice of opposition leaders is being suppressed in the House. On the other hand, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said opposition party is not cooperating in prohibition of liquor. Mr. Kumar said those responsible for making spurious liquor will be severely punished. G20's Development Working Group is discussing the role of data in accelerating the Sustainable Development Goal on the third day of the meeting in Mumbai today. Delegates will focus on identification and measurement of issues and gaps. They will also discuss partnership and innovation solutions built on data. In the Development Working Group's meeting, India proposed a G20 initiative on data for development. India said it will help to strengthen data harnessing through a capacity-building network to bridge the data divide. This will also help in accelerating progress towards attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. The delegates who had arrived in Bengaluru to participate in the G20 Finance Track meeting were taken on a visit to the higher education institutions of science and centers of technologies in the city today. The delegates visited the Indian Institute of Science and Manyata Tech Park apart from a visit to Bengaluru Palace. They were briefed about the initiatives taken in the areas of IT and push given to startups in Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has paid homage to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on his death anniversary. The Prime Minister also recalled Sardar Patel's contribution to India, especially in uniting the nation and giving impetus to all-round development. In Peru, the government has announced a nationwide state of emergency, granting special powers to police and limiting freedoms, including the right to assembly. The announcement was made by Defense Minister Alberto Otarola. The development comes after a week of fiery protests that have left at least 8 dead. The protests were sparked by the ousting of former President Pedro Castillo on the 7th of December in an impeachment vote. Castillo, a leftist elected in 2021, was arrested after illegally trying to dissolve the Andean Nations Congress. This is the latest in a series of political crises Peru has faced in recent years. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange lost 557 points, or 0.9% to trade at 62,121 in the afternoon session at 2 p.m. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange dropped 161 points, or 0.9% to 18,499 at the Forex market. The rupee weakened 14 paise to 82 rupees 60 paise against the dollar in afternoon deals. On to sports. In the first cricket test match, Bangladesh were 38 for 2 against India in their first innings on the second day at Chattogram. Earlier, resuming their first innings at the overnight score of 278 for 6, India were all out for 404. Cheteshwar Pujara fell short of a century, scoring 90 runs, while Shreyas Iyer scored 86 runs. Ashwin scored a half-century. For Bangladesh, Mehdi Hassan and Tejul Islam took 4 wickets each. In swimming, Indian swimmer Chahat Arora set a national record in the women's 100-meter breaststroke at the FINA World Swimming Championships 2022 in Melbourne yesterday. Chahat completed the 100-meter breaststroke race in 1 minute, 13.13 seconds. She will participate in the women's 50-meter breaststroke event on Saturday. The championships will conclude on Sunday. In the FIFA World Cup, defending champions France stormed into the final, beating Morocco 2-0 in the second semi-final at the Al Bayt Stadium last night. With this win, France will become the first defending champions to reach successive finals since Brazil in 2002 and can now look forward to Sunday's showdown when they will bid to follow Brazil in 1962 and Italy in 1938 as the third team to retain the title. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government says proactive steps taken to curb price rise. Sufficient stock of food grains available to meet requirements of welfare schemes. India receives all 36 Rafale aircraft from France as the last one landed today. Srinagar and Jammu airports to be expanded as the UT sets a record in tourist arrivals, informs Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. Death toll in Bihar Hooch tragedy rises to 37. Peru declares emergency days after ouster of its president. On day 2 of Chattogram test, India all out for 404 runs. And with that, we end the midday news.